Flying Battery Zone. This is definitely a zone that I warmed up to on the second playthrough. Like, I didn't like Act 2 of this zone the first time, but I enjoyed it more the second time. So, it's like it's repeating that same tradition, because originally, with the original Flying Battery Zone, it took until the 5th time that I played it for me to like it. So that Mania's version of it is definitely better than the original then, because I only had to play the Act 2 of it twice to really enjoy it. And like, see, I don't like landing on that cylinder. I don't really trust it to catch me. But other than that, I like the bottomless pit section because it really rewards challenge in the platforming. But there's barely any of those. Like, you expect a level that's about being in an airship floating in the sky to have more bottomless pits and this tricky platforming. And speaking of tricky platforming, I tried to keep the electric shield so that I could show off a route with the electric shield and the anti-gravity, but I just don't know how you're supposed to avoid that spike ball. And again, I really don't see the point of having I faced the wrong way with the spin dash by accident. Once you do that, you can't really, you're kind of screwed. I just don't see the point of having all those animal capsules in the airship. The franchise's original trio of creators have actually praised this game. By the way, I got hurt intentionally there to see if it could still be done, because I heard that in this game it's impossible to get yourself hurt by going too high up with the fans and getting yourself sent into them, or something like that. But yeah, Oshima, which is Sonic's original designer, drew artwork of Sonic and Tails to support the game, and it was featured on the Sonic Twitter page. Sonic's pose in the artwork resembles his pose in the very first game's ending. Yuji Naka, the programmer turned head of Sonic Team, visited the Mania team's office himself. And Yasuhiro, the level designer of the original trilogy, congratulated the team for their Metacritic score. Like, that one's been, like, really heartwarming for them. Like, just proving that they did a good job. Unfortunately, this game has some soft locks to it, especially in day 1 before it had a patch to get rid of a lot of the glitches. And like, naturally, the game already got delayed enough, so they really didn't want to deal with the fallout of delaying the game again. Like, if you hold right in the box after beating Robotnik at Tetris, Sonic will get stuck pushing the wall. If you get hit at the same time you get a Chaos Emerald, the game would soft lock there. Sonic Mania was supposed to have a day 1 patch, but ended up delaying the PC version weeks for DRM instead. Even in the special stages, the music can end up disappearing. Like, if you have the music fade out too much or something like that. Like, that's gotta really suck, because this game has a pretty good soundtrack, and it would suck to lose the music completely. It's bad enough that this game, Super Sonic, insists on having a theme to it that removes the music. It's nice to be able to skip that section, but ultimately it felt slower because of how slowly he climbs. It might have been faster to just do it the normal way. But yeah, the theme of Super Sonic is definitely easier to listen to a loop of an electric guitar than a loop of dying cats, but it still shouldn't have one. It really should have, like, learned from the Sonic ROM hacks that it would just speed up the music. Like Sonic 3 Complete, it has an option where you can just get rid of the Super Sonic theme entirely and just have the music speed up. And same goes for Hypersonic and Sonic 1. So they really should have learned their lesson instead of going, like, let's just replace the music of the levels entirely and punish you for turning Super Sonic. When Super Sonic, like, it's already a reward, because it makes you invincible, it makes you blast through levels effortlessly, kill all the bosses easily, assuming that you were lucky enough to get enough rings to transform in the first place and remain supersonic when you get there. Like, it's already so much of a reward. It's not that big of a deal that it removes the music, too. And plus, it's kind of hard to beat all the special stages and find all the special rings. They should really reward you more. This game didn't originally have its own button for the supersonic transformation, which is ironic because Sonic 4 did. In fact, Sonic 4 had the best supersonic because, well, obviously he didn't control as well, but at the very least he still didn't drown. Like, it was really surprising. Like, this game's supersonic, it doesn't even have like the cool crouching animation. Like, it just kind of, they just change the color of his sprite to golden, make his hair stand up, but they don't really put that much effort into different sprites for him, like in Sonic 2. But he's still definitely worth it. Not sure why I went in a circle there. I think maybe this level might have some direction problems. A mod dubbed Max Control gave Sonic access to the Drop Dash, Instant Shield, and Super Peel Out all at once. When Mania Plus was released with Ray and Mighty, a proper cheat code was added that enables this. So that's pretty cool. But again, I don't see why you would want that. I mean, I personally don't like the Drop Dash. I would rather not have it. And the Super Peel Out is just so pointless. It's like, let's have a spin dash that leaves me vulnerable. I mean, sure, you don't slow down after doing it, but still, it's just like, I don't know. I would rather do a spin dash, because at least then I'm safe. And I know to do it on top of slopes, so I can actually gain speed from it. In April 2018, Sega prematurely released an update for the PC version, which is intended to launch with the summer 2018 release of Mania Plus. This had new animations, stage transitions, and changes to a boss, but didn't include Ray or Mighty, or the new Encore Mode DLC. The thing about Ray is, he flies? He actually flies, like Mario with his cape in Super Mario World. Only faster. Like, you have to do it faster. Like, constantly pressing left. And this game's level design doesn't really encourage you to that was funny. I thought there was something there to the left of me. But yeah, this game, it can be hard to get going with Ray's flight, but once you do, he's definitely a speedrun character. So that's cool. Like, I like that they didn't just make him glide like Sonic World does. Like, he's actually a flying squirrel. Still has a terrible design, though. Like, I don't like the fact that he looks like he's just wearing a bald cap. But it's nice that they're playable, at least. It just seems like they don't really... Well, actually, Encore Mode could be considered like their own story. But yeah, it's Press Garden Zone. Great! The Sonic Colors Blocky level. I finally figured out how I'm supposed to use these trampolines in the Knuckles playthrough. You have to hold A and never stop holding it. And that'll cause you to bounce the highest. It wasn't intuitive to me at all. Like, I thought what I had to do was press A the exact moment that you landed on the trampoline. Maybe I'll just be reminded of other trampolines from other games. Another thing is you have to jump on these switches that are on the walls. And that'll bring out these platforms and stuff. And remove platforms that block you from progressing. But, yeah, this level just doesn't have enough speed to it. It's a Mario level. And that would be doing a disservice to Mario. It's like, it's so blocky. At least the music is alright, but I honestly can't understand why anyone would really like this level. And another thing is, I was clearly gliding into the wall there and I didn't grab onto it. That's the annoying thing about Knuckles' climb is... Again! I expected this from, like, Sonic Adventure, where a lot of the walls in, say, the hub world arbitrarily wouldn't let you climb onto them. But it's just inconsistent when you can't climb onto literally every wall. And this is another section that was very clearly not designed with Knuckles' shitty jump in mind. Fortunately, it's only really the really tough, like, land on blocks platforming that give Knuckles' jump trouble platforming-wise. Otherwise, it's not too big of a deal. But yeah, Press Garden Act 1 has a lot of unused graphics. There are newspapers, which were used in Plus as part of the scene transition from Flying Battery Zone, a shutter that could have been used to drop them, risen variants of the alphabet blocks when only A, O, and T are used in the actual game, an Act 1 version of the swinging platforms in Act 2, and blue, magenta, and yellow ink jars, in which characters can get dyed those colors if they jump inside, though it doesn't actually work with Sonic due to his palette. There's also ink wipers that don't have programming to do anything, an ink removing spray, and 2 printers with on and off lights. Like, clearly they had more plans to make this zone have set pieces that weren't unique, but instead it's just a blocky level with Heatman's disappearing and reappearing blocks, except they're not in a section that's long enough with them to really matter that much. And the annoying dragonfly enemy that you can only damage it from attacking its head, so good luck with that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, is the rest of its body coated in poison or something? Why does it hurt you? The true final boss stage of this game has several unused slopes that point to it being meant to be either an actual level or a proper auto-scroller, which honestly would have made it better, I think. Like, instead you just tried to navigate yourself into the very tiny positions of the bosses where you can hurt them. Like, the thing about... Like, let me complain about the plot for a second. I don't know why I can't glide onto that thing. Like, it's never obvious that you're supposed to believe that the heavy egg robos are going to turn against Eggman. Like, I mean, it does make sense that, like, at the start of the true final boss, Eggman and the other robot that he's, like, the Heavy King, God, they're so forgettable at forgetting their names. Like, it's obvious that they're facing off because they ram into each other with mechs of their own. But other than that, the fight looks like they're just working together because they don't really fight each other. They both exist in the boss fight. Like, you could assume that the Elite Egg Robots were working for Eggman, or you could assume that they were working independently. Like, the plot is very light, and, well, I mean, it makes sense. It's a Genesis Sonic game. It's, well, not really, but it looks like it. That's the whole point. But, like, the plot is so light, so the characters are so underutilized. And honestly, they're not characters. They're just colorful robots for me to beat up. Plus, like, again, how are you supposed to even know their names aside from, like, external source material? I don't get the idea that they would be named Heavy, etc. I guess robots are heavy, but I don't see why they would be especially heavier than the other egg robos. Like, and also 2 of them are supposed to be girls, apparently. Now, I could understand if it was, like, the pink one and the purple one. Are there pink and purple ones? I mean, that would make sense. I think it's supposed to be the Heavy Magician and some other guy. But yeah, anyways. In the true final boss stage, it's also possible to spawn a version of the Phantom King that just summons Phantom... I misread that it's Phantom Cannon. Well, it just summons Phantom Cannon and Phantom Magician as they're seen in the standard final boss fight. Those were their names? I thought they were Heavy Magician and stuff. God, they're so forgettable. I keep forgetting their own names. They never really tell you their names. They don't have dialogue or anything, which is good, honestly. I mean, it's bad enough that they have unskippable cutscenes that are forcing me to stand there boringly while they happen without having dialogue too, but like, what's the point of introducing a new character if you're not even gonna have dialogue or anything to establish any sort of personality? And you don't even have to you don't have to necessarily have dialogue to establish a personality. Like Sonic would have his idle animation where he looked annoyed and stuff. Now that's another thing. His animations in this game make him try to look cute. Like Sonic tries to look cute in the beginning opening cinematic, and he looks cute when he looks up. It just, that's another reason I don't like the Mania sprite. Like, along with him trying to look light blue to look cute. I get that, I get it. Classic Sonic is younger than modern Sonic, but one, if he's not supposed to be just Sonic but younger, but actually from a different dimension, then there's no point in trying to emphasize that he's younger than him. Because if he's Sonic, but not the same Sonic, but younger. So, and the whole appeal of Sonic in the first place was that he was, like, he had an attitude. He was the edgy counterpart to Mario. That was the whole appeal that made him popular in the first place. And they're just trying to emphasize, oh, look at how cute and kawaii classic Sonic is. It's a classic example of, like, Sega Japan completely misunderstanding what made Sonic popular in the first place because of Sega of America's marketing. And it's annoying that some people, like, it's not seen as big of a problem as it actually is. It's just the perfect symptom of one of the fundamental problems with the whole marketing of Sonic in general, and the story direction in general, the forced lighthearted tone and stuff, ever since 06. But I've talked enough about that as it is. Apparently there's a strategy you can use with this boss where you can get hit by the Asteron explosions and take advantage of invincibility frames to avoid getting hurt, to avoid getting frozen. But yeah, what I'm showing you here is proof that I do own the game. I own it on the Switch, and this is the Mania memorabilia that I got. The cartridge doesn't really do anything though, which just annoys me because it just, I don't know, like there's a Genesis on top of the Sonic statue, and you'd think, oh, like my mom actually assumed, oh, you can just put the cartridge in and you can play it, right? Nope,